everyone, this is Sybil. Whoop, looks like I'm kind of discombobulated here on my desk. I'm on my planner desk right now filming because my large Martha Stewart desk where I make my cards, it's covered with card making supplies. My Crafty Mojo went on a very long hiatus. Probably it was gone at least 2, maybe 3 months. And it came back home on Monday of this last week. So I started making cards. And I wanted to share with you guys and maybe inspire you to do the same, to use the supplies you have on hand. And so what you're looking at, I'm just going to share with you really quick some of the things that's in my stash that I've been using to make these cards, and then I'll show you the cards that I've made. So paper. A few months ago I did a big destash and sold most of my lace, most of my bling, a lot of embellishments, paper, stamps, dies. And so I honed it down to items that I actually plan on using. And that's what I started doing this week, was using my supplies. Now, I don't know if any of you have these still in your stash, but the My Mind's Eye papers. These are the Lost and Found paper pads, and some of them are pretty thin, and some of them still have quite a bit of paper in them. So I took those out because I love them and I don't want to get rid of them. And I started making cards with these papers. So I also have a bunch of loose 6x6 papers, some that were given to me, and some because a paper pad that I was currently using had only a few sheets and I didn't want to throw them away because I love the patterns. So this is slimmed down quite a bit. It was about this big, and I did a lot of die cutting. I used some of these to make banners. I used some of those for background papers on my cards, so that's really good. I also whipped out my old cards magazines, and I have a whole lot of them. This one is from July 2012, and I used these card samples in the book magazine for inspiration, and some I just flat out copied as much as I could. Like this one, I'll show you, and then I'll say this is the one I shared with you in the magazine. I pretty much stayed with this. I just changed up a little bit, but I pretty much stayed with that. And other cards, I kind of took the sketch from it and made my own card. And then some cards, a couple that I'll share with you, I simply came up with my own idea using stickers in my stash. And so I used a lot of these stickers from the poolside, from crepe paper, and then also from this Valentine's sticker pack. And no, I didn't make a Valentine's Day card. I just made a kind of like a sweetheart card. I also used chipboard, so I'm just sharing that with you. And then some wooden embellishments that seem to continue to grow even though I'm not buying them. Here is the bling that I have left in my stash, and I don't plan on buying any more bling because I have a lot here to use. And I also have Nouveau drops that I can use. I also pulled out a bunch of my die cuts. I have, when I'm cutting, a lot of times dies, like word dies, I'll cut out a whole bunch of the same ones. And so I pulled out this box and my other little containers filled with die cuts and ephemera bits, some that I've purchased and some that I just put together on my own. So let me start with the cards. Now these two cards are remakes. And what I mean by that is I made this front of this card, it's an easel card, but I had a Sherry Baldy image on it, which I loved the image, but I absolutely hated the way I colored it. And it just did not turn out the way that I had wanted it. And so, and I'm gonna kind of zoom in here a little bit. Bear with me for just a moment. I usually go out before I go in because I can't seem to figure out my camera. And obviously I'm still, there we go. So I kept the whole base intact, and I just took off the image and I put another image that I had previously colored. and set that on there, and really liked this look way better. And so it's an easel card, and so I added the paper inside and then a little banner and I added some bling, so I'm using up my bling. Put a little banner here, used up a die, and then a wood veneer. So there's that. And then this image is a Sherry Baldy image, and I do like the way I colored it, but I didn't like the card that I had made with it. So I took that apart. I kept this. This was a big part of the card, and the base, and this little tickled pink, and I put it on a pre-made card base. So that was fun, and I added some Wink Castella on the heart so they, you know, have like a shimmer to them. So there's that. Now, I will share with you the cards that I started making, and I just couldn't stop once I started. So this was the first one, and this is a doily, and a lot of these cards have doilies on them. Again, I was inspired by the cards in the card making magazine, and so I just put a piece of what am I trying to say? A piece of cardstock, I think, back here, and then I inked the edges around the card base, some little Nouveau drops here and there, and some sequins. Life is beautiful. I used this beautiful flower that Janelle gave me, and I added some pearls to the center and put a couple of butterflies there and enamel dots. And then it says, "You're in my thoughts." So there's that one. And then I made this one. And again, it's pretty basic, you know. It's just a lot of paper piecing and a lot of fussy cutting. And there's a doily back behind there. So there's just different layers. Like I cut this out, I cut this out, I cut the trim here and here, you know, and just used some punches to add scallops and put a little enamel heart up there. And then a sticker here, and a big gold heart, some more enamel dots. And it just says, "Love life, and it will return the favor." And I love this one. This one was really inspired by the card making magazine. So I pretty much stuck to their pattern and added some pearl bling, which I hardly have used, I don't know, in a long time. So I thought, get that out and use it. I used a die to do the fishtail banners. Each one, I cut each one of them. This is from my Mind's Eye paper pad. Put this little ephemera bit. It says "Forever Friends." Added some pearls. Added a rosette and some lace. And I die cut some some leaves for the flower there. And then on the inside it says "Thinking of You." And then here is a masculine card, and it is as basic as it can get. It's just my Mind's Eye paper pad. I just used the paper. I rounded the corners of this. There's no inking whatsoever. I think on most of these cards there's no inking. This one I inked the stamp there. I did a die cut and I offset it. So I offset it, and it says "Today" here, and I've got some magic mesh there, and it's just blank inside. I thought that would be really good to send to one of my sons. And then here's this one, and it is beautiful. It's almost the same thing, and this was inspired by the card making magazine. Now I have to warn you, my husband just came home. I heard the garage door open up, so him and Haley are probably going to come in, so you'll probably hear their noise in the background. But I loved this card. I added a metal flower here, put a brad in there. Haven't used brads in I don't know how long. And added some buttons. And I followed Gina K Designs, her tutorial on how to tie a bow. I didn't get it as good, so I had to kind of play around with it. Put a flower there, remember, chipboard, and pearl, and two different laces there. Cut the scallop paper, and inside I used a little measuring tape paper, and then it says "You are so beautiful." And I just have a couple more. This one, super duper easy. just cut out that like gingham paper, and this says, "I'm here if you need me." I popped that up, and I made another bow there and put a button on it and 3 little buttons here, and just did a little fishtail banner. Just added some layers, and I think I left it blank inside. Yep, it's blank inside. And then this one with the bicycle, this says, "Life is a story, make yours the bestseller." And I just did a little fishtail banner with some paper. I love to fussy cut paper, add little strips here and there. This is a little baggie. Remember the card in the magazine that had the bike? This was my take on it. I used a chipboard piece, added a couple of enamel dots there on the bicycle, and then put the enamel arrows there, some more magic mesh, and just some paper inside. I made this one last night and pretty much followed the magazine. And it says, "Welcome home." And I'm not sure if you can see that or not, but I added some diamond glitter and some Nouveau drops in the centers of the flowers. And there are the little wood veneer houses and just layered paper. And then I cut this. I don't have fringe scissors, so I just cut the paper and added the fringe there, and then put the little bow around there, and it's blank inside. And these are my last 2. And so I used some chipboard pieces and some stickers and popped this up. There's a doily there. As you notice, I've used a lot of doilies, and just used the stickers that I shared with you, the Valentine stickers. Somebody gave me this bow. I think it was Rosemary. So thank you, Rosemary. And then I cut out some paper here, just popped everything up. And then inside it says XOXO and hearts. And then this one for the summer, again, pretty much the same thing. Every summer has a story, a day at the pool. And then this little piece here, it says summer memories. And I'm not sure if my camera will pick it up, but I put some diamond stickles all the way around. And those are my cards. And it says, "So much fun." So I hope that inspires you guys. I hope I wasn't too long in this video. Thank you so much for watching. And let me know if you're using up your supplies too. I have the card making fever, so I'm going to make some more. And I'm going to start sending these out to my friends. Thanks guys for watching. God bless. Bye.